Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again on this Sunday, September the 5th, in beautiful Alabama. So glad to have you with me again another day. Yep. And if the title of this video caught your eye and you decided to click on it and you ain't been over on the channel, you're new to it, then I hope you'll stay with us here. Maybe look back at past videos, see what we're all about. But you're always welcome to one of the best communities here on YouTube. Yes, it is. And it only takes a minute or two to read down through the comments. You'll see that too. But it being Sunday, for me, it's always a day of reflection. I think that's appropriate. And today, I was reflecting. And with that, an idea came to my mind. And that is, with everything I see on social media, mainstream media, oh my Lord, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, yeah, I need to cut back. I really do. Then I follow a lot of channels. Yep, they call themselves preppers. Then there's some survivalists. And, there's homesteaders I follow, gardening channel, what have you. But, back to the topic that came to my mind, and I'd like to think. It was brought to my mind by my father, God. And I see a lot on YouTube, to be prepared. You see, for many, far too many, it's all about the stuff you need. Yeah. All this amazing dehydrated food, freeze-dried foods, every which way to preserve it, put it up, and that's all good stuff. Granted, it is. Then there's all those nifty things you can have. Yeah. All the items you can buy with money you may or may not have. And I read the comments on those videos, and I see the despair in many people. You think, oh, I'd really love to have that. I need it. But I just can't afford it. And I'm in that boat nowadays, too. Being a senior and living on a fixed income I am. It wasn't always that way. And if my health and age would allow it, I could return to work. And there are nights that I ponder doing just that. But I know I'm not the man I once was. And the job that I did requires a sharp mind and nerves of steel to handle the problems that were placed before me. But yeah, to many people, especially those who call themselves preppers or survivalists, it's all about the gear. It's all about the things. In all truth, it comes down to one thing. It's all about the money. Yep. But as I thought more about that, I guess it started last night. Wee hours in the morning before I laid my head to rest. Yep. And there have been so many times in my life when I didn't have the money for just the very, very, very basics of life. And in all truth, not much of that either. But somehow I came through it. And there have been times in America, as well as all those countries out there across this here globe, many of which watch old Mr. Tom. They don't have it. They can't afford it. And they feel in great despair too. Yes, they do. But that brought along that thought of the ultimate survival items that money can't buy. Yep. So what are they, you might ask? Well, the first that comes to my mind, maybe you already guessed. Spooky. Cleo. You got my back? Yep. I got two of my kitty crew with me as I'm out here talking with y'all. Yeah. Love you too, Spook. Always. You know that. Cleo. How's it going, baby? The queen of the home place. So the first that came to mind, like I said, was, I guess this is appropriate for Sunday, is faith. Yeah. See, in my mind, and over the course of my lifetime, I have seen, at times, and in situations, that I didn't want to be in. But I was there. I was going to live it. I've seen where faith has played the difference in surviving and living through it. I've seen people with great faith survive injuries that you would never believe. Yeah. And I've seen those without faith die of what even I would call minor injuries. But they didn't have any faith. No, they didn't. And with the loss of faith, they gave up their hope. They had nothing to pick them up and carry them through those horrendous times. You see, you'll never have a more life-changing event in your life until you've held a person in your arms, across your lap, that is holding on to the last minutes of their lives. And you can pray, and maybe by God's grace, through your prayer and righteousness, they will be saved. But there have been times in my life, no matter how hard I prayed, no matter how hard I begged, they didn't make it. And being a man, human, I always wondered why. And now, at the tender age of 65, I tend to understand why. You know, if you don't have faith and you don't want it, then in reality, why should anybody else want it for you? You see, our lives all start with us. Yep, right here. And if you're a person of faith and have some knowledge of it, and some teachings, you'll know that all things were put here for us to use. And in reality, everything we need to survive in this world and thrive was here before we ever placed a foot upon the planet. And for those of us who believe, we all know who put them here. But with all of that abundance, with all the tools, the resources, many just choose not to make it. And in my mind, they either never had faith or they have lost it. So the first tool that money can't buy is faith. Yep. The second tool that you're going to have in my mind, to survive what may be coming, and maybe not. I hope and pray times are better. But I've been a little disappointed this year with the wildfires in the west of our country, here in America. Of course, we're not the only ones. Many countries around the world, if you keep track of it, are seeing decimating wildfires too. One that comes to mind is Greece. Spain is another. And I'm sure there's many, many more. They just don't come to my mind right now. We've seen the floods. The floods throughout the Midwest, even out in the desert states that were so dry when the rains came, they had massive flooding. We've definitely seen that up through the southeast, southwest, all up through the eastern corridor, all the way to the northeast. We recently just saw it again with Hurricane Ida. Not to mention the massive devastation down along the coast of Louisiana and inland, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. Yeah. I think you'd have to be living under a stone or a rock or in your burrow to not be aware of all of that. So what's the next survival tool money can't buy? And that's hope. Yes. See, because if you've lost your hope for whatever reason, your life just hadn't turned out for you ever, in your mind, or the constant bombardment of devastation and circumstances have made you lose your hope. You start to question, why would you even go on? What's the reason? It's better than just to give up. And I know, just from some of my past videos, there are people out there that have lost their hope. They're tired of the events, especially of the last 2 years. They no longer have hope that life will get better. And therefore they question the reason why life should even go on. You see, not only do I keep my faith, and in the end, when I've done all I can do, and that's an important part, you got to do all you can do, then I leave the rest in Father God's hands. Because why? I've done all I can do. But the same is true for hope. Here again, after all I've done, when it's all said and done, I've said my prayers and will pray more, and I've left it in God's hands, but I'm still stroking, still striving. I still have hope that I will make it through. I've never lost my hope. I'm going to tell you a little thing. There have been times in my life when if I was ever going to lose hope, I surely would have. And that's how I know that these first two tools that money can't buy, hope and faith, are so critical to your survival. It's because I've been there several times. And I've been in places you people wouldn't walk in, I don't care. You can have your bug out bag, body armor, and all those cool little sidearms you got. And you would have been going, oh my God. I have a saying. Once upon a time, I too walked through places no sane man would never walk. And there have been times throughout my life when that saying would ring true. Now, I didn't go there by choice, but I wound up there anyway. But I came through them. And I'll tell you what, there were others who didn't. Yep. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have faith or hope either. Sometimes it's just where you're at the time where you're at. And nothing you can do will get you through. But here again, I've seen people without those two, faith and hope, that should have survived. No. They threw up their arms and gave it up. And they got what they wanted. They got the end to their life. And nothing I could do would ever save them. Nope. But the third ultimate survival tool is knowledge. Yeah. And you can say, well, I can buy knowledge. You know, I can go to college. Well, yeah. Yes, you could. You got the money. Or want to borrow it. And you can say, well, no, I can buy all these books. I can read books. Well, yeah, you can do that. Others will say, well, I can just watch YouTube. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of crap on YouTube. Oh, it sounds nice. But in reality, just don't work out. So you got to be careful there. So, why is knowledge the third ultimate tool that money can't buy to get you through survival? Well, you know what? You don't need money to acquire knowledge. You can start right today. The simplest thing is just start by doing. It's just like gardening. Yeah. You can learn from experience. Of course, now I will caveat that is you can learn good and bad. It's better to learn from an experienced person in your area. And that too, I've said so many times in my life, it bears repeating. Find a local person. If you want to know about gardening in your local area, growing food, preserving food, find somebody in your area. Make friends with them. Break some bread. Chit chat. You know, by finding somebody in your local area, you'll acquire the knowledge that is apropos to where you live. Because even things I show you, other than just, basic facts, may not be appropriate for Alaska. I'm just saying. Or the upper Midwest, or the West Coast. Some of it will. Like about insects, pests, disease. Oh, yeah. But certain varieties, plants, which you have to go through, you may not see. Or you may even see worse. And even hear about foraging, surviving off the land. Yeah, you can buy books about that. You can also take that book and go out here, wherever you live, and you can pick things that you might believe and think and actually misinterpret by the pictures. That'll be just fine. And it can kill you. And your life can go away just from one mistake. That holds true to edible and inedible poisonous plants, to edible mushrooms, to poisonous mushrooms that'll take you out in hours. Yeah. Find somebody, walk with them, Learn. Put your hands on it. Yeah. Now, granted, if you're an introvert and you just can't stand people, hence, well, in my life, that's your problem. Need to work on that. You surely do. Because that just gets back to that statement. No man's an island, or woman, just saying. It's not a sexist thing. It's just a fact. We all don't know it all, and we all can't be it all. But yeah, you can acquire knowledge by experience. You can acquire knowledge through that of other people, hopefully local to where you live. You can start that journey without any money at all at a public library. Oh yeah, you surely can. See, at a public library, if indeed your community has one, we do here, and I'm grateful the city keeps it and keeps it up. You can acquire a good base knowledge from books in there. You ain't got to buy. You don't got to buy every book that the preppers, survivalists, homesteaders, and gardeners talk to you about. In fact, many of them will be available free at your local public library. People don't even think about that. And then they say, well, hell, what does SHTF happens, Mr. Tom? And the library closes. Well, that's where it don't hurt to write it down if you think it's important. Of course, in this day and age of texting, a language that I don't even understand, like GTSY, which I had to ask somebody, was good to see you. Yep, sometimes my son gets annoyed when he uses those abbreviations the old man don't know. Well, Dad, it's this or it's that. So, yeah, even for my son, I acquire that third tool, some knowledge, albeit modern texting language. And sometimes on comments you send to me, and you use some of those modern day abbreviations, I have to look them up. Oh, we're going to sit down here on the front porch and that, just so I can reply back. Yeah, I'm old school. Yep. I went to college. I've been to more classes than I'd like to remember all through my engineering career, so I could stay relevant and up to date, expand my skills. And then I took that knowledge acquired from those books and courses, and I used it in real life, and through my experience I learned much, much more. I surely did. But see, those three tools, faith, hope, and knowledge, don't cost much money. But without them, you can be a wealthy person. You can have a nice fine house. I don't care. You can have your bunker. You can have all that fancy freeze-dried, dehydrated, and canned food, medical supplies, ammunition, arms. I mean, you can just pile up the house, your bunker, a couple of storage units, with everything money can buy. And you will still fail, in my mind, because you don't have faith, hope, and knowledge. Yeah, because I've seen it happen before. Yes, I have. Money can't buy everything. We all think, especially us po folk, oh, if I was rich, how much my life would be better. But anybody who reads the stories about what happens to the families of the rich and famous, you'll see no matter how much money they have, they live tragedy in their life too. So y'all, for some reason today, when I awoke, and I was out here working on the place, in the gardening bed, in the yard, taking care of the kitty crew, which Spooky and Speedy are asleep at my feet, or they're laying down at least. This came to me, and it wouldn't let go of me. Now, I mean, I'm talking, it started late last night into the wee hours of the morning. And I found when certain things won't leave my mind, it's because maybe I'm being pressed to share my thoughts with my friends and family, as I have with y'all today. So y'all, I hope you take some time to think about it. I hope you look in your preparedness pantry. Do you have those 3 ultimate tools on the shelf in your life? Faith, hope, and knowledge. And if you find your shelves might be a little bit bare on those 3, then I suggest you start acquiring them and start stocking them up. The time to start is now. And like I said, it don't take no money. It just takes you making it happen. So y'all, just a shorter video today to tell you what was on my mind and my thoughts. And as always, I do hope it helps you some. And it will allow you to be prepared in life for what has come and what will come. And my crystal ball broke. I'm not sure what that's going to be. And I don't need to be predicting. More than capable of going through YouTube and Instagram and seeing all kinds of apparent prophets out there that tell you every day the numerous ways you will die and humanity will soon end. Because, it always goes something like this. You need to do this now. Yep. I often want to comment back, well, I didn't do that. And we're still here. But I just let it go. Yep. As always, folks, I have no agenda. No monetary gain in all of this. I just like to share with my friends, my family, and my loved ones. A little part of my life. And if you like what you've heard today, maybe it's got you to thinking, then maybe you'll share this video with others that you think could benefit from it. And I do hope you're enjoying this Sunday, wherever you may be, America or other countries. Because now so many from other countries watch. And I am definitely grateful for that, and it's much appreciated. So, until we see you on the next video, y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Be prepared. And may God bless you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. Speedy, clean up. Who we got down here? That's my Speedy. I thought that was you, but you're getting so big now. Unless I see that you don't got a collar on, Speedy. I don't know whether you're Cleo or Speedy. You don't need to clean up, baby. You're looking good. So are you, Spook. And at the moment, my little slice of heaven is looking good too. Later, all.